to be going around revealing themselves in daylight, wearing their heart on their sleeves. Introverts who have done so, wearing their hearts on their sleeves, have been hurt and went back into seclusion to do what many introverts do, which is to conceal themselves, make their lives very private. And this is something that is the main cause of having no friends. Where do you even start when you have so much going on up there? How do you present yourself? Hey, hi, my name is Ison. I enjoy watching Netflix. I enjoy going to the beach, sitting around, eating snacks. It's not that easy to just dump down your personality. For a thinker, I mean, if we think about it, friendship is something that cannot exist if you stay up here. Unless, out of all the odds, you so happen to bump into this person who happens to be like you, who is a cerebral thinker, who feels a lot, and then you just so happen to blurt your life away to this person, and this person does the same, and then you connect. What are the chances? I would not say zero, but the chances are very slim. For someone who is as introvert as you to be going around revealing themselves in daylight, wearing their heart on their sleeves. Introverts who have done so, wearing their hearts on their sleeves, have been hurt and went back into seclusion to do what many introverts do, which is to conceal themselves, make their lives very private. And this is something that is the main cause of having no friends. Myself, back in the days, in my early 20s, I did ask myself this question: did I have friends? I do have people I can count on. I do have people that I can call friends now. It didn't happen overnight like that. And I remember this one time when I was working at the movie theater. It was close to New Year. I was still new to Vancouver. I did not know anybody. I didn't have friends, and myself and this coworker, we went on a garbage run. And then I remember in the elevator, he asked me with his eyes towards the ground, sort of somewhat feeling shy of showing such a state of sensitivity and consideration. He said to me, you know, if you want to, you can come by, you know, and chill with us. We're gonna celebrate New Year together. I'm not quite sure if it was for New Year or Christmas, but I remember that it was around that time. When he asked me that, I was taken aback. I was not expecting this person who I barely knew, who was cracking cynical jokes around, which made me doubt that he even liked me. This person asked me if I wanted to spend time with him and his friends. That's when I realized, wow, so that's what it feels like to have friends. Because I've always been a lone ranger, so to speak. I've always been the type of person who would be very focused on my internal world, on the things that I was doing or I'm even doing right now. I always focused on working on something. And a lot of you guys might be the same. You would bury yourself into your work, into your specialized field of knowledge or whatsoever. And you would live inside this world so much so that sometimes you wonder if you are even part of this world. So when someone like that from the outside world asks you, hey, do you want to come over? Do you want to do this or do that? It is quite nice. It is quite nice to have someone ask you that from time to time. From then on, it's just something that became part of me afterwards. But it took time. You have to take that step outside of your comfort zone. And it's going to be awkward. It's going to feel unnatural. But those things are to be learned, are skills for you to acquire. As a thinker or as a feeler who thinks a lot, you are someone who needs to learn skills, ways of expressing yourself. And for those who in the past have hurt you or out of an attempt to build friendship, you have been hurt. You have put so much effort in wanting to make a friendship work, but somehow it just fell apart. People who are like you and I are meant to interact or socialize through knowledge, through our thinking, through our opinions. Not everyone will be drawn to those opinions or your thoughts or your beliefs. Your crowd, your audience is quite specific, and in order to find that crowd, you have to first understand where you come from. It is impossible to find a crowd, an audience, if you don't know what your show is about. If you are a comedian and you don't know what your show is about, no one will come watch you. If you know that your show is about making fun of yourself when you were a kid, then there's a topic and there's a theme, and then people will flock to your show to watch it because they can relate to the title, they relate to the theme. By finding your own theme, you will find people who can relate and who can become your friends. But before all of that happen, you have to work on that theme, you have to work on that self-expression, because these people who are meant to be your friends are not gonna wander around in the broad daylight. They're pretty much like you, so you would have to be the bigger person to go out there and express yourself. If you want to find those who you can connect with on a deeper level, on a level that is beyond the speaking. And I repeat, if you want to find that underlying, unspoken type of connection, then you have to be the bigger person to reach out to those who are like you, who are more introverts, who are more quiet. As you express your thoughts, they will be able to recognize you as someone who they could relate to. And then begins friendship. And then finally can friendship be built upon something that you guys have in common. But you have to be the bigger person. You have to learn to grow your ability to express yourself. And once you do, then you have to find your crowd. Once you find your crowd, then that's when you guys can help each other grow your individuality. And once that is done, then there will be a newly acquired confidence wired into your core. Then once you feel comfortable and confident enough being part of your own group of people, then you can venture out into uncharted territories. You can then learn to become friends with people who are less like you. But it starts from a place of knowing how to express yourself as yourself, because people like you and I who have no friends, it starts with you knowing yourself. Know yourself. Be self-sufficient with yourself. You have to confront yourself and your fears and your limitations, and you have to embrace things that are ugly, because no one is perfect at the end of the day. So when you do embrace you as you, and then you come up to other people and then you talk to them, their mind will not stop on that thought or that feeling. So when you come and talk to people, they don't want to always be feeling like, oh, this person is scared about something, and then whatever you will be saying is not going to go through. The message will be lost because of the feeling that has muffled your message. Don't let your fear, your doubts, your dislikes muffle your self-expression. Make peace with who you are. Your words, they are only tools to show who you are. They are an extension of you, nothing more, nothing less. Your voice, your eyes, your stare, they will not be working for you if you are concerned about certain things. They will be working against you. If you dislike your nose and you walk around and you just have this face because you're uncomfortable with your nose or with whatsoever part of you, there will be a break. There will be a disruption in the connection. There will be a disruption in that interaction with you and the person. So you want all of that working in alignment. You want your voice, you want your eyes, you want your body to work in alignment with your message, with what you say. Maybe do it in front of a mirror, do it in front of a camera, right? Do it to a friend that you feel comfortable with, but express yourself. Write down the keywords that you often use to express yourself, and then you can start looking at them and saying them out loud. Say them in front of a mirror, in front of a camera. Practice those key sentences. You will want to use those sentences to jumpstart communication, to jumpstart self-expression. If you take Bruce Lee, for example, and you analyze the way he speaks, there are keywords that he often used over and over again. In my opinion, he says that. He says, to me, okay, to me. So he says these things a lot. He says, to be a human being, express yourself as yourself. Acquaint with the way you speak, the way you express yourself. Write them down. Relearn them, because the words that we speak are often part of our subconscious mind and we're not aware of them. So write them down and then own them, learn them, make them part of you. Make those keywords your trademark. As you slowly own self-expression, then you can start working on the eye contact, and then you can work on your body posture, the way you walk and all that. It's all those things were things that was very useful to me when I was studying acting. Don't ask me how I ended up in acting. Once upon a time, I wanted to be like Jackie Chan. But anyways, that would be for another day. I remember the 2 years of acting I went through was the most painful, most torturous to my soul. And I didn't even make it to the third year, but it helped me develop myself. It helped me go on a soul-searching journey. There are other people out there just like who you are. All those who are watching this, who are relating to my words, you guys are pretty much made of the same stuff that I am made of. We're the type of person who feel and think, who internalize all of that inside. This makes it very hard for other people to understand who you are. So I'm gonna go over the points. First, accept your flaws. You have to see yourself as you are. Look at yourself in the mirror rather than saying, okay, I hate this or I hate that or I'm ugly. Look at yourself objectively and embrace the diversity that you are. Familiarizing yourself with your keywords is so important for you to embrace your self-expression and to find your own voice. And then work on the way you walk, the way you move, the way you look at people. Look into the mirror and look at your stare. Look at the way you smile. Practice those things, because all those things internalize have to be externalized. Not all of it, but the essential ones that allow you to become that bigger person, which is the next step, to become that bigger person, the more extroverted among the introverts, so that you can be the one reaching out to other ones who are like you, a thinker or a feeler with a lot of thoughts. You are the one to be able to reach out, and you would be the one to understand, to be able to understand and articulate their unspoken feelings, unspoken desires, thoughts, their unspoken identity. You want to be that person to speak into existence who you are. You will be the one speaking into existence other people who are not using their own voice to speak. So once you have found your voice, and then you work on your external behaviors, external mannerisms, how to shake someone's hand. Is your handshake firm or is it soft? Work on the way you walk. Do you walk like this? You swing your arms as you walk? Do you skip? Do you hop? Next step is really to reach out to those who are like you. And once you do, and you begin to build confidence in doing so, then you can reach beyond your own territories, your own comfort zone, and then you can venture into uncharted territories and interact with personalities that are opposite to yours. And it will be very unique, contrasting, and exciting. When you are an introvert and you venture your way into the territories of an extrovert, it can be very frustrating for a lot of reasons, as it is often a place that is void of reasons and logic. But as you go and venture out of your own territories and learn things that are beyond your own comfort zone, then you will find meaning. You will be able to find meaning in a place that you thought had no meanings. But it doesn't happen overnight. And for those who feel like they are okay having no friends, they are okay being themselves, well, there is also nothing wrong with being yourself and being self-sufficient as yourself. But you have to ask yourself this: am I self-sufficient as myself? If you feel self-sufficient, then you wouldn't be watching this video until this very point. Because maybe deep down there is a part of you that do relate, that do understand, that do want to make this leap forward and make friends. Human beings are social beings. Even if you don't interact with people in real life, you still seek to interact with people online. If you take the YouTuber Pewdiepie, for example, I'm very sure if you were to ask him if he considers himself as an introvert, or maybe now an ambivert, he will say, yes, I'm an introvert or an ambivert. Yes, I do not like social interaction that much. Yes, I do like my own private space. Yes, I do consider myself as antisocial. But the fact that he specialized himself in playing video games, he found his voice, he found his style of expression. By finding his own voice, by voicing himself out there, he was able to reach out to so many people who also feel like they are somehow like him. And whether they understand him or not, they still feel a connection or in some way could relate to his personality and can also enjoy the way he expresses himself. And once you've done all these steps and then you find yourself to have grown as a person, you will no longer know if you are more of an introvert or an extrovert, because you will be a bit of everything. That's when the lines will be blurred and then you will just be you. That's my input for having no friends and how to make friends by being yourself, by expressing yourself. If you enjoyed this video, leave a like, subscribe, leave a comment below, express yourself, your opinions, your thoughts, what resonated with you, or if whether or not you yourself have friends, or if you do not have friends, how you cope with it. Anyways, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.